If it sounds like my balls have dropped, it's because they have. Hi, welcome back. Got a bit of a raspy throat, so if you can hear something in the background like a gnawing or something, that's my boys. You know when you're an artist and you know you have makeup that you either do not use or that you just haven't got around to using it. You ever wonder what you want to do with it? I'm very late to this trend, but this video we're making watercolors out of eyeshadow palettes and other things because I like to experiment. This video is a bunch of like eyeshadow palettes that I've got off my sisters, my mom. So in this video we'll be making watercolors out of eyeshadow palettes. And with that said, let's travel back in time. I don't know what I'm doing. I look more like a thumb now that my hair is in a towel. So, probably hear my fan. I'm trying to work out how to make binding agent. I don't know where to start. I sat in a really cold bath because for some reason my whole top half torso and my neck decided to be very hot. I feel a lot better now. I don't know if gum arabic plus plastic tablespoons is a good mix. By the way, the recipe that I'm following, everyone uses the powdered powdered gum arabic, or they use crystal gum arabic. I've got liquid and I can't find a video that helps me with this, so I don't know what to do. I'm trying to work out from, you know, how much this can hold, and then because I don't really want to use the entire thing. Whether there's a place that does a bigger bottle, I do not know. Or maybe the range is to get powdered gum arabic instead. I don't know. Again, never made watercolors before. I have all the things. I have the glycerin, I have the clove oil, I have water, I have the gum arabic liquefied, I guess. I have it's like a builder's tool. And I also have a muller, I don't know. Trying to find one of these friggin' things. My god, it's almost impossible. It's almost impossible. I've seen people make the paints for watercolors. They have big old glass mullers. I'm talking about the size of my face. 7 centimeters, I believe. I actually measured it. It's not 7 centimeters. Chunky piece of glass. Don't want to break it though. That was expensive. That's probably the most expensive thing I've ever bought to make watercolors, but I know it's going to be a hell of a lot more fun and cheaper. See, my sister and my mom, they know how to crunch numbers. Me, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just guessing for half of it. I'm tempted just to wait until my mum gets home because she knows what she's talking about. They also say it's a 1 to 3 part ratio. I think I'm gonna wait because I really need to take this off. It's very thin, but I can feel my body burning because I just sat in a cold ass bath to try and cool it down. I'm in my pajamas because it's cooler. I don't really care what I look like at this point. I just want to make me some binding agent so I can make some watercolors out of my eyeshadow palette. Because I never wear makeup. Why? Because I just don't. Alright, I'll see you later, I guess. Welcome back to another video. So the tools we're going to need for this video is a pesta and muller.
and it pops up on the screen. There we go. We're also going to need a sharp pointy thing. A craft knife will do so. Got to be careful not to stab yourself with it, so yeah. And we're going to need some powders like eyeshadow palettes or any forms of pigment. So what I'm doing with, got some tubs so I can put the pigments in. And what I'm doing with the eyeshadow, I'm using the craft knife to carve out the powder I need. And not exactly the safest thing to do, but try not like stab yourself. You won't want to have blood all over your pigments. So here are my lovely pigments. Here's a close-up of all the eyeshadows I've put together. They look kind of cute in those little tubs. I thought, why not make my own white pigment? So I thought I'd use these seashells, and I got a little tub ready for it because I thought I'd do it in bulk. The idea was to smash them up in the pesto and muller, but I ended up, I don't know what I was doing. You can tell I have no idea how to do this. I thought I'd try with a nail file, put them into little bits. I got impatient, didn't really work, so I thought maybe do it on the paper and then, like, I don't know, sort of scoop up the paper and put it into the thingy. So I thought I'll use the nail file and do it that way, but then I guess I sort of like didn't want to catch my fingers while I was like rubbing profusely on the nail file, so I ended up just giving up on the seashells entirely. Forgive me, I've just realised I've been saying pesto and muller. It's actually pesto and mortar. Ah, my beautiful set of Winsor & Newton watercolours. Look how beautiful this casing is. Hand painted by yours truly. Look at all these beautiful array of colours. But you ever thought what to do with the empty half pans? Well, I have an idea for you. Get your half used or pretty much used watercolours, give them a wash, you reuse the pans. I give that a 10. Of course you can never get enough pans, so get more. Here's my non-slip surface to work with. And what's this? What is this? It was a chopping board, not anymore. It's now my grinding slab. I'ma do this with it. Remember how in the beginning of the video I didn't know how to make binding agent? Well, this is it. That's my recipe. Who knew preparing your workspace was thirsty work? Yep, that's the stuff. So now we're moving on to actually making the watercolors themselves with the pigments and the addition of the binding agent. Grabbing my little pipette, squeezing some in, make a well in your powder, just so it doesn't spill everywhere. Here's me mixing it in, adding some more binding, just little bits, you know, just so it makes like a paste consistency, as I'm doing right now. Now for the satisfying bit. Well, that was anticlimactic. Not exactly what I was expecting. I did add honey into the ingredients of the binding agent, and it would stick to the grinding slab. Just listen to this. That's what she said. I kid you not. Literally every pigment I worked with, the binding agent would stick to the grinding slab, and I end up picking the entire thing up. And sometimes I just didn't want to. I had to pry it off the actual slab itself. It was a nightmare. I can see why most people that make watercolors don't add honey to the ingredients. Because it just makes everything sticky. So my next batch I'm not gonna add honey to it at all. This is also sort of typical with the pigments that you're using to, you know, mixing with the binding agent. Some pigments don't really require much binding agent at all. However, most sort of like, I don't know if it's to do with like the type of pigment, but some require like a heck ton of like droplets of the binding agent to turn it into a paste-like consistency. I found it was the darker the colour is, the more binding agent you need, and the lighter the colour is, the less you require. But what do I know? This is my first time making watercolours. I bought a bunch of these. I've been using this one to like scoop out because I've been proper experimenting. I'm not wearing a mask for this, mainly because it is makeup, and also it's just mainly because it's hot. I don't know how you're gonna see this, but I hope you can see it. I can use more. Oh, it's like baby powder or friggin' flour. Just mixing it because it slowly repels it at first, but the more you mix it in, it becomes less powdery. If I'm honest, I still find painting fun, but I think I find this more enjoyable. So I'm not so much making artwork, I'm creating something. There we go. I have so many times, I just want to add this in, the amount of times that I've posted on Instagram referring to like, oh, I'm doing this for an upcoming video, and then no videos come out. It's like frothy milk, this is. Someone's columns out. Thank you, my friend. I'm gonna actually share a links and that in the description. Emily Edmond, thank you very much for sending me half pans, because I practically ran out, and she got in touch with me, saw that I was making watercolors, and she sent me a lot of half pans. I'm wanting to maybe try getting I guess higher quality eyeshadow palette, preferably in the sales, or you know, that it's not too horrendously expensive. By the way, all these palettes that I'm using, I am not sponsored, obviously. Okay, so these are my white chalks. You see what I mean? It looks a little bit like a chalk. Yeah, these are my highlighters, the ones, but as you can see, it's still, because it's so pasty and it's more wax as opposed to I guess a powder. Turning myself into a moon elf now. It's still quite, I guess, resistant to liquids. And here we are, just sampling what I've made so far. To be honest, I was actually rather impressed with the result of all these different like watercolors that I made. Especially like my favourite is it's basically just mirror powder to put on your nails, and it make it look like your nails are like really shiny, very silvery. I wasn't expecting it to work as well as it did. I thought because of it being just like a mirror powder, it's gonna look a bit weird. No, I was absolutely like stunned by how pretty it was. I used chalk, I used eyeshadow palettes, I used foundation, like powdered foundation. I just proper went all out with this. Here it is. Oh, look at that! Isn't that stunning? And just sampling the powdered highlighters, I think they are, the Moon Dust and the Aurora. They do look really hypnotising. This is the pasty one. Just look at it slap on there. Because it's more waxy, like oil wax doesn't really like work as well, but this is very like waxy. It wasn't a powder. I thought it was a powder, but when I opened it I was surprised. I think it's also waterproof as well. We're in the turbines downstairs. And here we are. Look at all these lovely things I made. I got this empty
watercolor palette on Amazon. I think it was about maybe £12. Came with some half pans. I also discovered that the half pans that my friend Emily sent me, who I'll put her deets in the description. I think she ordered the same palette as me, because if you take this out, half pans, 4 pans, and then for your acrylics and stuff. Obviously I'm using mine for watercolours. I don't know what colour she got, but I assume it's the same one because the exact same packaging. I was not expecting. I was like, I've got even more now. But yeah, I thought it was really pretty as well. It's all galaxy and it's all purple. So yeah, here's my watercolours that I made. How would I rate this experience overall? Was it fun? Yes, it was. Was it enjoyable? Yes. Yes, it was. Was it relaxing? It was. It was very therapeutic. My next batch that I actually have in the fridge right now, it goes out in, I think, sometime in December. December or January. I didn't add honey in it because obviously from you saw in the footage it was very sticky, stuck to the grinding slab. So yeah, I used chalks, I used eyeshadows, I used mirror powder, I used pastels, and then some like powdered foundation. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed, and as always, stay thirsty.